Good morning everyone, Monisha here. In this video, I have come up with a new chapter that is life process, which is a sixth chapter in your part 1 textbook. So this is a really important chapter because it explains everything about digestion, excretion, nutrition, etc., which is very important for the maintenance of human body. Let us go into the session. So this life process mainly consists of many different functions which happens inside our body so that we will survive in this earth. It includes starting from the food we take, that is called as nutrition, then to metabolism, that is digestion. Next, after metabolism, the food will be converted into protein, carbohydrates, etc. And then it will be circulated all through our cells through the form of blood by oxygen and hemoglobin. So that is called as circulatory system. Again, transportation. Next, how our blood pumps to different parts of our body, that is called as circulation. Then how we respire oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, which is a very important process due to which we are living in this earth. Otherwise, we can't even stay for too long without respiration. Next, the very important process is excretion. After digestion and after transportation of that nutrients all through the body, some of the byproducts of digestion is not needed for the working of the cell. At that time, what we do? We have to remove those waste products from the body. That is called as excretion. There is one more part, that is reproduction. But in this context, reproduction has not been included in life process. It has been explained in a separate chapter called How Do Organisms Reproduce? Why? Because we might have seen many couples who don't have children, and some of them may decide they don't need that. At that case also, human life exists, human life survives. So they might think reproduction is not that much important for the survival of the human being. So it has been explained in one more chapter, that is How Do Organisms Reproduce? Next is endocrine gland and the nervous system, about our brain and about our sensitivity and response. So this is also a very important concept in life process, but again, all those huge concepts can't be included in a single chapter. That's why they have divided it into a different chapter called as control and coordination. So these are the basic things I am going to explain you in this video. So this video is mainly comprising the introductory part of life process. So before that, we have to understand the criteria to decide whether something is alive. So even from first standard, we might have come across some facts called living things and non-living things. We usually say that living things show some movement, but non-living things doesn't show that movement. But you have to think carefully. What if a person or a dog is sleeping? It is not in a movement. Then can we say it is not living thing? No, it absolutely wrong. So at that case, we have to consider those minute movement also, that is like breathing. And there will be a small insignificant movement in a human body while sleeping, that is through breathing. What if we can't see in our naked eye? There is also some molecular movements which we can't see. So the most important criteria to decide whether something is alive is movement. All living things move without the help of any external help. Some movements are easily visible, like the movement of body parts. Some movements are not easily visible, like molecular movements. The molecular movements in cell and tissues is necessary for all the processes. So I feel you might have understood how we can decide a thing is moving or a thing is living or a thing is non-living. So let us say some of the difference between living and non-living things. Living things. Living things grow, whereas non-living things do not grow, do not show any visible growth. Living things breathe, whereas non-living things do not breathe. Living things need food, whereas non-living things do not eat food. living things move, whereas non-living things do not move. Living things feel and non-living things do not feel. This is one of the important concepts. Next is living things reproduce, whereas non-living things do not reproduce. These are some of the facts which I have included in the difference of living and non-living things. So I have also comprised some of the facts, that is the characteristics of a living things. What is that? Living things grow in size, repair themselves and reproduce. This is one of the fact of living thing. Next is living things require energy. For food preparation, for movement, for everything it needs energy. Next, living things respond to changes in their environment. Living things always respond to the changes which is happening around it. Next, living things have a lifespan. We know that every living thing has certain lifespan and we are not immortal. Living things produce waste. This is the most important fact, that is living things always produce waste products. Let us know about the 7 life processes. First is movement, that is changing place or position. Respiration, that is generating energy. Sensitivity, being aware of the surroundings. Growth, an increase in size or number. Reproduction, creating new individuals. Excretion, removal of waste products. And at last, nutrition, obtaining food to build a body. Let us know in little detail about all these 7 life process facts. Life processes are the basic processes in living organisms which are necessary for maintaining their life. So I have already explained what is a life process. So this is a basic process which a living organism needs for maintaining its life and body. As I have explained before, it has 7 processes included, but in our context, in our NCERT syllabus, they have mainly included only 4. That is nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion. The basic life processes are nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion. So first I will explain what is nutrition. So nutrition is the process of taking food by an organism and its utilization by the body for life process. So a human being or any other living thing need energy for its survival, and the energy is obtained from external source, that is food. The food we intake is used for the maintenance of our body. Next is respiration. Respiration is a process by which food is burned in the cell of the body with the help of oxygen to release energy. So whatever solid or liquid food we take, it can't be included or encapsulated in our blood cells. It has to be broken down into smaller molecular particles so that it has to convert into carbohydrates, proteins and nutrient values. So with the help of oxygen, so this food has broken down into certain matter and to release the energy for the maintenance. So next is transportation. So after breaking down the food, it can't stay stagnant in one place. It has to move all through the body so that our each and every part of our body should get the energy for our survival. So transportation is a process by which food, oxygen, water, waste products are carried from one part of the body to the other. This can be done by veins. Next, last and important is excretion. So excretion is the process by which waste products are removed from the body. After burning down of our food by certain process, some of the byproducts of the food is not needed in our body or to the cell. At that time, we have to remove those waste products out of our body. If it stays inside, then it will may prone to poison. So it is a very dangerous thing. So excretion is also a very important process in human body. Let us discuss all the 7 processes one by one. The first one is movement. The ability to move from one place to another or change position is called movement. Animals use their whole bodies to move from one place to another. Plants move by just turning towards the sun, but the roots go deeper into the soil. Plants growing towards the sun is a response to external stimuli. We know that in order to move from one place to another, we need energy, but plants is stagnant to one place, but the growth will be always towards the sun. Next is reproduction. The production of new organisms similar to the parents, either sexually or asexually, is called reproduction. Most of the animals bear offsprings and they are called as mammals. Some animals lay eggs to obtain their young ones. Most plants produce seeds and new plants grow from them. So reproduction may be not considered as an important life process, but for the survival of the human being or the survival of any other creatures, reproduction is very important. Or else the earth may run out of any living thing. Next, coming to respiration. The intake of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide is simply called as respiration. And all living beings absorbs oxygen from air to convert food into energy, whereas plants absorbs carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. So they also conduct respiration. We know that respiration is the most important process in human, because without respiration we can't stay long alive. Next is sensitivity. We know that the very longest sense organ in our body is the skin, and by that we will sense too many sensitivities by a stimuli. The ability of an organism to detect and respond to the changes in the environment or response to the stimuli is called sensitivity. All living beings respond to the changes in the environment and reacts to them. People react to the changes in the weather and environment, and according to it they change their behavior. Some flowers and leaves react to the sunlight and closes itself in the dark. Just think if there is no sensitivity in human beings. Even after burning for a long time, we may not get any sensation. So what will be the result? Our entire skin may burn out. So what if you touch an iron box, you will never get a sensation? So without sensitivity, the numbness will be a very dangerous thing to human being. Next is growth and development. Growth, getting larger in size. Development, all the changes that organisms undergo as they go, just from a kid to adult and then to old age. So this is growth and also development. Next, coming to nutrition. The process by which the organisms obtain energy in the form of food for growth, maintenance and repair. That is called as ingestion, that is intaking of food, digestion, processing of food and egestion, removing of waste materials. Food is used by living beings to obtain energy and do their daily work. Green plants use sunlight to prepare their own food, which is called as photosynthesis, with the help of a pigment called chlorophyll. And this green plants is also called as autotrophs. Why? Because green plants prepare their own food with the help of sunlight. Therefore, it is called as autotrophs. Next comes animals, which is always depend on other animals or the green plants or the autotrophs for their food. Since they are depending on other animals and plants, it is called as heterotrophs. Coming to excretion. The process of getting rid of waste, which includes water, carbon dioxide and other compounds. Waste substances must be removed from the body. Animals and plants both has to get rid of water and other waste products from its body regularly, or else severe damage of the organs may happen. Let me tell you about unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. This can be defined as a living organisms which consist of only single cell, as the name itself suggests. It is uni, that is single cell. This single cell is capable of perform different life processes or cellular activities. But what about multicellular organisms? Unicellular organisms, we can give an example of amoeba or plasmodium, whereas multicellular organisms are we human beings and animals. Multicellular organisms can be defined as a living organisms which consist of multiple cells. With these distinct cell organelles, it is capable to perform different life processes or separate cellular activities inside the body. For example, in human beings, for every function, there is separate vital organ. For digestion, we have stomach and the intestine and all other parts. For circulation, we have veins along with the heart for pumping. For excretion, we have rectum and all other kidney and all other vital organs. Like this, in human beings and other animals, there are different vital organs performing different functions. So these animals are called as multicellular organisms. But in the case of unicellular organisms, it doesn't have different organs for functioning. So it is said to be unicellular organism. I always love to give a quote from famous scientist. She is Marie Curie, the discoverer of radium, and she is the first woman to get Nobel Prize for physics and also chemistry. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Because in life, the only thing called as fear is taking us back from our achievement. So fear less and go towards your success. Thank you for watching this video patiently. If you have any queries or doubts about the introductory part of life process, do consult by commenting on the comment section below. Thank you. Thanks a lot.